Let's look at how to answer a strengthened question. Strengthened questions ask you to look for an answer choice that best supports the argument. Remember, the correct answer choice need not prove the conclusion. Instead, you look for an answer choice that would best support the argument out of the 5 answer choices that are given to us. You usually come across words such as strengthen and support in the question stem when you're answering a strengthened question. Most often the questions look like these. Which one of the following, if true, most strengthens the argument? Which one of the following, if true, best supports the argument given above? Now let's look at a sample question. Let's read the question first. Which of the following, if true, most strengthens the argument in the advertisement? So it's asking us to strengthen the argument that is given in the advertisement. Now let's read the advertisement. Mayor Delmont's critics complain about the jobs that were lost in the city under Delmont's leadership. Yet, the fact is that not only were more jobs created than were eliminated, but the average pay for these new jobs has been higher than the average pay for jobs citywide every year since Delmont took office. So, there can be no question that throughout Delmont's tenure, the average paycheck in this city has been getting steadily bigger. What has the author concluded? What is the author's conclusion? You come across a clue word so here, which indicates a conclusion. There can be no question that throughout Delmont's tenure, the average paycheck in the city has been getting steadily bigger. So the argument concludes that paycheck during Delmont's tenure was getting steadily bigger. What evidences in the argument support this conclusion? The fact is that not only were more jobs created than were eliminated, which means there were more of new jobs that were created than the jobs that were eliminated. And the average pay for these new jobs has been higher than the average pay of the jobs citywide. So not only were more new jobs created than were eliminated, and the average pay of these new jobs has been higher than the average pay for the jobs citywide. The next thing that we do after we identify the evidence in the conclusion is to predict the missing link. What has the author assumed? The gap is pretty evident in this argument. The author compares the number of new jobs to the jobs that were eliminated and then compares the average pay of the new jobs to the average pay of the jobs citywide. What has the author not explicitly stated to come to the conclusion that the paycheck was getting steadily bigger is the comparison between the average pay of the jobs that were eliminated and the average pay of the jobs citywide. Now, we already know that there were more of new jobs than the jobs that were eliminated, and the average pay of the new jobs has been higher than the average pay of the jobs citywide. Then, for the paycheck to increase steadily, the average pay of these new jobs can either be less than the average pay of the jobs citywide, or it can be equal. So the author's assumption is that the average pay of the jobs that are eliminated can roughly be the same than the average pay of the jobs citywide, or the average pay of the jobs that were eliminated can also be less than the average pay of the jobs citywide. In either of these cases, the author's conclusion saying that the average paycheck was getting steadily bigger will hold true. Now let's look for an answer choice that would support this assumption, right? So we are looking for an answer choice which says the average pay of the jobs that were eliminated can either be less than or equal to the average pay of the jobs citywide. As a result, we support the conclusion that the paycheck was getting steadily bigger during Mayor Delmont's tenure. Let's look at answer choice A. The average pay for jobs created in the city during the past 3 years was higher than the average pay for jobs created in the city earlier in Delmont's tenure. Now, answer choice A compares past 3 years to the earlier part of earlier part in Delmont's tenure, whereas the argument is about what happened during his tenure, right? So by comparing the earlier part of his tenure to what happened in 3 years, past 3 years, does not give us sufficient information to evaluate what happened during Mayor Delmont's tenure. So answer choice A can be eliminated. Answer choice B. The average pay in the city was at a 10-year low when Delmont took office. What was the situation when Delmont took office does not give us enough information to say what happened during his tenure. So we can also strike off B. Again, C. Some of the jobs created in the city during Mayor Delmont's tenure have in the meantime been eliminated again. C says some jobs that were created were eliminated again. Now is this sum sufficient enough to know whether the average paycheck was getting bigger or not? We don't have information. And the other thing, we are saying the jobs were eliminated again. When were these jobs eliminated? Were they eliminated during his tenure or after his tenure? Answer choice C does not give us sufficient information to evaluate the argument. So C can also be eliminated. Let's look at answer choice D. The average paycheck for jobs eliminated in the city during Delmont's tenure has been roughly equal every year to the average pay for jobs citywide. Now, this matches with the predicted answer. The jobs that were eliminated, the average pay of the jobs that were eliminated has been roughly equal every year to the average pay for the jobs citywide, and it is already given in the argument that the average pay of the new jobs has been higher than the average pay of the job citywide. Then the average paycheck during Delmont's tenure should have been getting steadily bigger. So D supports. We can hold answer choice D. Let's look at answer choice E. The average pay for jobs in the city is currently higher than it was for jobs in suburbs surrounding the city. Now E compares average pay for jobs in the city to average pay for jobs in the suburbs. Now the argument is concerned about what happened in the city during Delmont's tenure. E compares the average pay for jobs in the city to the average pay for jobs in the suburbs surrounding the city. We are not concerned about what happened in the suburbs. So E makes an irrelevant comparison. So E can also be eliminated. So the correct answer is choice D. ముందు కంటే చాలా బాగా వచ్చింది కదా.